What you're seeing here is an adult human beard hair under about 300 magnification, and you can see actually the scales on the beard and the iridescences from the oils in the beard refracting the light. Okay, so what I have in my computer right here, in my microscope, I have a Kamisori that I've just set the bevel using a 500 grit Shapton. And what I'm going to show you here is what the edge looks like when it's been roughed over with a 500 grit stone. Okay, here is the edge where both the stones, or where the stone met the edge evenly on both sides. So they formed an apex. And those are the scratch marks from the 500 grit Shapton. And there's the edge. And the edge looks pretty good there. Relatively straight and nicely formed. Okay, now I'm going to scroll over to where the bevels did not meet yet, and there's still a false edge holding on to onto the razor there. Okay, you can see the edge is looking more scalloped. That's where both sides of the blade met, but crudely. There's no refinement there. Now you can see moving into an area where there's some of the false edge still hanging on to the edge of the razor. It's out of focus at this point because it's partially detached and it's fallen over to the opposite side of the razor. But here we're looking at, it's still partially attached. And you can see the scratch pattern on the false edge that's fallen off, the foil edge that's fallen off on the other side. I'm going to scroll down. Here's where it had just separated right there on the right. And we have a scalloped edge. And then you'll see it gets attached. The false edge or the foil edge is probably laying on the other side of the razor right now, and the opposite side. Here's where it's become still a little bit attached. And you can see how fragile it is. Now this is at the 500 grit level. When we go to 1,000 grit or 2,000 grit or whatever, this false edge is going to become finessed off, sort of massaged off the edge of the razor as the two sides of the blade, the apexes, both meet, and that false edge is going to become separated. Sort of fascinating stuff here. It's like a landscape of a razor's edge at one of the preliminary stages where the abrasives are crude. The edge is crude as a result of it, but it can become refined with just going into the finer grits in a progression state. Okay, so I think that sort of explains what I was looking at and I wanted to share with you. There's the 500 grit scratch pattern again, very clear. And here's where the edge is going to be formed. And then this false edge, this foil, some people will call it a burr for tools, will just fall off the other side and you'll see it rolling around the stone. And